November of 2017 was a simpler time. When the OTS Pack 6 list got dropped, we all laughed at it. We laughed at it for having really weird Paleozoic super rares. We laughed at it for printing cards like Predaplant Orifice Scorpio as common instead of super or ultimate rare. But in general, looking back on the set, I think we were a little too harsh on it. For one thing, all three of the ultimate rares are fantastic and played to this day, and probably will see play for many years to come. So that's awesome that the highest rarity cards in the set actually have a lot of impact on the current metagame and future metagames. Looking at the super rares, that's probably the weakest point of the set, but at least most of them are playable. I said in my original review that Paleozoic Canadia is like the only playable card out of this, and while that is kind of true, at least set rotation, the Wind Witch and the Trickstar all have seen some play, so maybe I was a little too narrow-minded. And looking at the commons, okay, they're kind of weird, but in general, almost all those cards except the Amazonas and the Six Samurai card are played. I guess not the Phantom Knight guy either, but all those other cards have seen some sort of play, which is a lot more than we can say for OTS Pack 7. And that's kind of what got me thinking about OTS Pack 6. I was thinking about, you know what, compared to OTS Pack 7, which we're going to look at in this video, this set wasn't that bad. At least most of the cards are played, and even though the rarity upgrades were weird, they weren't the worst things in the world, and oh boy is OTS Pack 7 so much worse. And anyway, I just want to look at OTS Pack 6 for a second. Now let's transition into OTS Pack 7. We're going to look at the ultimate rares, the super rares, and the commons, and I'm going to give my analysis on how bad this set is. Starting off with the ultimate rares, we actually knew one of them for a while now. Cosmic Cyclone was announced a few weeks back, and that's actually really exciting. I think Cosmic Cyclone is cool. I probably would have picked Twin Twisters instead because that card's probably going to see play for longer, and it also has been more popular just conventionally. Most people play Twin Twisters, not everyone plays Cosmic Cyclone. Cosmic Cyclone happens to be good right now against True Dracos, but in general, still, I think a lot more people are playing Twin Twisters, so I would have liked to see that card instead. But Cosmic Cyclone, at the very least, is a cool pick. Link Spider is kind of weird. I mean, it sort of makes sense. A lot of people are playing that card with Scapegoat, but this card already was a super rare, and it hasn't been out for that long. I probably would have picked a card like Abyss Dweller, which is long overdue for a reprint in Ultimate Rare, instead of the Link Spider, just because that card's been around for so long and is still seeing play. Usually the Ultimate Rares aren't that recent of a card. A Link Spider hasn't even been out for a year yet, so I think it's kind of a strange choice. And usually when you're playing Scapegoat, you're actually only using one copy of Link Spider, so I think that isn't the worst choice ever, but it is at the very least kind of strange. And then we get to the third one, Herald of Orange Light, and why is this? I just don't understand. I mean, I understand that the Fairy Structure deck just came out, but no one's playing this card. It did see some play in the YCS winning World Chalice deck, but that is such a small application that I just think it's weird that this card is an Ultimate Rare. And yeah, the other Herald hand traps are already printed in Ultimate Rare if you look at the green one and the purple one, but this one, I mean, like, no one's playing it. It's such, the Ultimate Rare slot in these sets is so coveted. There's so many different cards that could have been this spot. I think Pot of Desires is a great choice. I think maybe Ash Blossom down the line will be an Ultimate Rare. Maybe this set would have been a little too early for it, but Pot of Desires, Twin Twisters, Abyss Dweller, all these cards probably would have been better choices than Herald of Orange Light, and yet this is what they went with, and I don't understand it. I actually just don't get why this card is in here. They very easily, if they wanted to sort of give a shout out to the Counter Fairy players, even though Counter Fairies, I guess, don't even play this, right? Nothing plays this card. But if they want to give a shout out to the 5 people that play this card, I think printing it as a super rare would have been a much better idea. It's just so weird that it's an Ultimate Rare. So we're just going to kind of forget about that one. And now let's move on to the Super Rares. And also I should mention, these are not my pictures, so that's why they're so low quality. I don't know why the people that crack open these packs early don't have good cameras. It seems like no matter what set it is, no matter what year we're in, whenever someone gets packs early, it just looks like crap. Looks like they took it with a potato. But so they're not my pictures. I'm just taking them from Italian Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm not even sure that they took them because these cards are in English. I'm not sure who opened these early, but someone did. That's how we have them. Anyway, the super rares. So there's some interesting choices here. They did print 3 playable Paleozoics. Do you notice that there's no Olenoids though, which is by far the most popular Paleozoic of all time, and it's always been a staple 3 of. Dinomischus isn't a staple. It's really good in a lot of cases. I'm not playing it right now, and plenty of people aren't playing it right now. I mean, it's been played in the past a lot, but right now I think a lot of people are cutting it from their decks just because they don't want to discard anything, even though I think that's a fine choice. In the same way, I think Paleozoic Marilla is an okay choice, and even the other Paleozoic is an okay choice. And I think in a vacuum, just if we look at these sets, or this set in particular, those three choices are fine, but when you put them in the context of the last OTS pack, where they printed literally 2 garbage Paleozoics instead of any of these cards, or instead of Olenoids, it just puts us in a really weird spot. Olenoids is such an important piece of the Paleozoic strategy. I don't know why they haven't printed it yet. Olenoids is always played as a 3 of, where Marilla is usually a 2 of, and the other guy, the I don't even know, the Lima Bean guy, I don't know what his name is, the guy that puts banished cards back, that's usually just a 1 of or a 2 of at most. So I think Olenoids is like the huge missed opportunity here. Once again, we can see the fairy card making in here, Divine Punishment, totally random, not needed at all. Fossil Dig is really cool. That's probably the thing I'm most excited for in this entire set. Fossil Dig being printed as super rare is fantastic, as is Destrudo. Destrudo being printed as super rare, really cool as well. The Magical City of Endemon probably should have been printed as a common. It was getting kind of pricey. No one's really playing it outside of the people that are actually playing the Mythical Beast strategy, but that's not a lot of people. Most people are just splashing those cards in Pendulum Editions, but if you were playing that deck, that card was pretty expensive. I think it's like $6 for a common. It was only printed one time, so that reprint's welcome, but kind of random as a super rare. We have the World Chalice guy. I guess it's fine. Spiral Tough is a little late, but I guess people are still playing Spirals. It's still topping regionals every once in a while, and the occasional YCS is just like a 1 of. So I guess Tough it's okay. It's a pretty important part of the modern Spiral strategy, so I think it has that going for it. And then Royal Magical Library is extremely overdue. Almost no one is playing this card anymore, but this card saw play for years in plenty of formats, usually in sort of degenerate FTK decks, but nevertheless, like, this card still was played a lot. So I think that one is extremely overdue. This seems like a card that should have been printed as a super rare a long time ago. But yeah, so super rares, I mean, you have a couple good ones. I think Destrudo, Spiral Tough, Fossil Dig, and the Paleozoics are all pretty good. So in general, the super rares are a lot higher quality than the OTS Pack 6. It's just the ultimate rares suck, and then, oh man, the commons are terrible. So if we look at the commons, like, do you even know what half these cards do? There's the the insect support cards for some weird reason. I suppose for the recent Pegasus pack that came out, that's what those are in there for, because they had Weevil support. And then we have, like, in the same vein, we have 3 things of coin flip support in this set. Like, why? And then we have rare values, so you can see that they're really splashing in all sorts of support that came out in that the Pegasus pack, so that's kind of random. Book of Life is really strange. Zombie World is, I guess, okay. The Spell Power Grass is in here for the same reason that Magical City of Endemon is in here, although that card wasn't as pricey. Wavering Eyes is like super random, like it already has a common reprint and it's been printed like 1,000 times and it has like a super reprint. It's just, that's a weird choice. Pitch Black Power Stone, really garbage card. I don't know why that's in here. And the token Feast Evil is probably the most random card in here. I mean, Lucky Chance is like terrible, obviously, but at least it kind of makes sense because they're just printing the coin flip cards. But the token card, like, why is that? Am I missing something? Why is that? I mean, that card's not good in general, but just from like a standpoint of this card fitting into something that just got recently printed, I can't even think of why that's in here. Maybe they changed the text on it. I'm not sure. So what are the differences between this one and the last OTS pack? Well, I kind of already talked about them, but just to summarize here, the OTS Pack 6 had really good Ultimate Rares and really good Commons with a lot of garbage Super Rares. This one is the exact opposite. The Ultimate Rares are pretty much just all around. They're very strange outside of Cosmic Cyclone. I mean, even though Link Spider is played, it's just like a 1 of for decks that play Scapegoat. It's so weird. So the Ultimate Rares are pretty much trash. You'll pretty much lose value most of the time that you pull them. Cosmic Cyclone will probably be pretty pricey, but Link Spider I would imagine wouldn't be that pricey. And obviously no one wants to pull the Herald. The common cards are super trash, and the common cards have a really important role in the OTS packs and the Astro packs. The common cards are what you're going to be pulling most often. So when you think about people getting these, they're getting them at their local tournament store as their entry pack and also as their prizes. So for a lot of people that don't actually top their locals, all they're going to see are 2 common cards and 1 holographic card. So those common cards should be good. That's one of the things that I liked about OTS Pack 6, is that the common cards actually were good cards. There are literally no cards in these common cards that I would want to pull if I was a new player. Like, none of those cards are useful in any deck pretty much, and that's super frustrating, because you really do have to think about the players that are playing at their locals and not like getting a lot of packs as like prizes. It just as their entry fee, this is what they're getting. All those common cards are trash, so if they get trash commons and then they get a super rare that they don't need, like if they get Spiral Tough, they don't play Spirals, well, that puts them in a really weird spot and just leaves them with a negative attitude towards OTS packs in general. So that's kind of disappointing. I think the commons have a lot of importance in these types of packs. Cards that I would have liked to see printed as super rare, obviously Paleozoic Olenoids is huge, and I think that the one that everyone wanted and everyone kind of expected, including myself, Eater of Millions, absolutely should have been a super rare at least. I think it's really easy to say that Eater should have been an ultimate rare in replace of Herald of Orange Light, but that's not super necessary to say, just because anything would be better than Herald of Orange Light as the ultimate rare slot. But I think that Eater easily could have fit as a super rare as well, instead of like Divine Punishment, instead of the Magical City of Endemon, instead of those types of cards. It would have been perfect, because so many different decks play that, and I think that would be really good for players going to their tournaments, because that's a card that can go into a lot of different decks. So maybe they pull that card and then they put in their deck and then they start winning some games, because Eater's really good. But I think that's pretty much my analysis on this set. Yeah, it's trash. I can't believe that it actually got worse than OTS 6. I didn't think that was humanly possible after the garbage Paleozoic reprints. And I know it just sounds like I'm ungrateful, but I think that I have to stress the importance of the OTS packs in particular being good, because these are the entry packs for a lot of people playing at their local tournament store, and also they're the prizes for a lot of people playing. So these really do have to be good. They have to appeal to 2 different demographics. They have to appeal to people entering the tournament that only get one of those packs, and they have to appeal to the people winning those tournaments and getting a lot of these packs. That's kind of why the ultimate rares are usually competitively relevant cards, because that rewards the players that are doing good at locals every single week. And I don't think that's the case for either of those groups with OTS Pack 7. But let me know what you think about this. Let me know what cards you wish were in this set as super rares or ultimate rares or even commons. And yeah, I will see you guys later. Goodbye.